computer. There we go. What's up, everybody? I am so fired up for today's presentation. As all you registered on the webinar, you saw it's all about purpose, profits, and legacy, the triple win for modern business. I came up with this title because I realized there's, talking about for-purpose business and, buying more happiness is great, but we also need to talk a lot about why we need to do this. So creating purpose, profits, and legacy summed up everything that I'm trying to do in one. So I'm really excited to walk you through a little bit of what's exciting me today in the Go Big to Give Big space. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Randy Molland. That is my beautiful fiance who I'm marrying in less than 10 days from today. And our little puppy, the picture's a little bit old, but just absolutely love them. So excited to get married, and always like to just share a little bit about them in my intros. I'm the co-founder of a real estate investment company. I co-founded a really cool mastermind up here in Canada with a bunch of real estate investors. But one of the things that I'm most excited about now is that I'm the founder of the Go Big to Give Big movement, which is something that I'm really excited to start bringing forward more of. And for those of you that don't know, a quick, brief background on my story. I was an electrician by trade, lost one of my best friends at 42 years old, and realized there was more to life than just trying to wait to 50 to retire and be financially free. So I ended up creating a real estate investment company with the goal to retire by the age of 30. And unfortunately, through that journey as well, I ended up having a non-epileptic seizure because I was in the hustle culture and the work culture and grinding myself to the point where my body needed to shut down. It was there that I realized there was more to life than just making money. So by the time I was 28, I had two huge realizations in my life that, hey, there's more to life than just working until you're 50 or 65 to try and retire. And there's more to life than just trying to make money. And it was in that moment that I realized that the better way to build business was to build them with purpose, to add some sort of giving component to it so you can make a bigger impact along the way. I added a giving component to my real estate meetup that we had. So we started charging $10 at the door, and we scaled that up to over 100 and something plus people donating over $1,000 a month consistently to charities. We scaled that into our real estate portfolio, donating $10 per door per month, scaling our real estate portfolio, making massive impact there, everything into do with my mastermind. And now into what I realized is the bigger I went, the more I could give. I need to go big to give big. There's a way deeper story to all that, but I think most of you on here know, for the most part, the framework of my story. So I thought I would just jump right through that so we can spend some more time going through the presentation. Here we go. Today's mission is to inspire you to go bigger with your dreams and goals so that you can give bigger with your profits. And how do we do that? We do that by creating a profitable business that incorporates an element of giving to it that will eventually allow you to create more happiness in your life. So what we're going to cover today is how to add more purpose to your business, why that will create more profit for you, and how you do all that and the legacy you want to leave in this world. Sounds like something you guys want to chat about today? I think so. So this is the common principle that we like to go by. If you want to make $1 million a year, absolutely, totally cool. Everybody does. But what makes it more cool is if you build a business that does $2 million a year, and you donate $1 million away, and you don't feel guilty about the $1 million that you have in your bank account. You earned that $1 million. And this is the principle that changed my life when I went through that non-epileptic seizure. This is the first quote that I heard coming out. And I realized that there was a way better way to do business than just making money or chasing dollars. It was about building impact along the way. So what we're going to do today is teach you how to add purpose to your business. And this is how I like to describe that. On the left, there is capitalism. That is where the majority of us hang out. That is what we do as building business. On the right is a philanthropist. Those are people that go and solve the world's, I'll say, first world, like needy problems. And so what we're doing is pairing that in the middle. We're calling that Go Big to Give Big. So we're taking businesses, building them to make as much money as we can, but we're starting to marrying in some purpose, which is doing good work in the world. And that's how we're able to start adding that purpose to our business. One of the questions I get asked a lot of is, though, you're not supposed to give with your left hand without your right hand knowing. You're supposed to give with your left hand without your right hand knowing. That's 100% true. What I give personally, nobody knows about. I don't go bragging about the money that I spend personally from my own bank account. But what I do brag about is what my business does. I share publicly about my business because it's meant to inspire people. It's meant to draw on the right clients into my company. It's meant to show people that we can do more with our companies than just making money and being greedy capitalists. We can actually use a lot of it to make impact, but people don't know that unless you share that. So I wanted to make that distinction very quickly for you guys. Personal is private, business is public. So how many of you have heard of Tom's shoes before? I'm sure the majority of you have. They have a model, buy one, give one away. How many of you have drank Stella beer? If you didn't know this, when you drank Stella beer through portions of their promotions, they actually provided clean water through water.org. Very cool initiatives. If you've ever worn any sort of Bombas clothing, they provide clothing to homeless people that is specifically designed. So it's very, very long lasting. So it's not just a crappy product that they give away to them. They actually design it specifically for the homeless people. 10 tree clothing. For every tree, every t-shirt that you buy, they plant 10 trees, which is again a really cool initiative. These are all what we call for-purpose businesses. They build their businesses with a purpose behind them for the impact that they're going to make. So I think you're starting to see here the idea of what purpose means and how to add it into your business by adding a giving component to it. And the purpose is what motivates you to, just one sec here, we just had a bunch of people pop in the room. There we go. Good there. So the purpose is what motivates. Whoa, here we go. Sorry, guys. Whoa. All of a sudden somebody joins the room and everything just goes to, there it is. The purpose is what motivates you to create more profit, right? When we know that we can make a bigger impact on the other end, and we can do that by creating more profits, all of a sudden we're driving our profits up because of the impact that we can make on the other end. And let me explain Go Big to Give Big to you so you can see why you want to do this in your business and how it's going to create more profit for you. So on the bottom left quadrant here, we have something called an unmotivated business. It has the lowest level of income and the lowest level of impact. That's an unmotivated business. In the top left quadrant, we have what we call a profitable business. That is a business that is making a lot of income, but not making a lot of impact. This is where 90% of people build businesses from. This is where the majority of them actually operate and run from. They're producing income, but they're not making impact. In the bottom right, we have a nonprofit business. This is where people are making a lot of impact, but as you know, nonprofits are the most non-profitable business there is. So where do we sit? We sit in the top right quadrant here, the Go Big to Give Big business. That's where you're making as much income as you want and as much impact as you want. So when we look at this quadrant, we have the infinite abilities to go as high as we want to make as much income, and we have the infinite ability to go right as much as we want to make as much impact. And this is not just a concept that I'm throwing out there and saying, hey, this is cool, you should do this. This is a trend that consumers are showing us that they want to see. Here's a stat from a Cone Consumer Report that says 89% of consumers are likely to switch brands to one that is associated with a good cause if it has a similar price and quality. So apples to apples, 89% of people would rather choose something with a giving component versus one that doesn't have it. Here's a bunch of other stats from that same Cone Consumer Report. 91% of people have a positive image of a company that has a giving component to it. So would you rather have 91% people looking at your business saying, wow, that's cool, versus just looking at any other business and not having that same image? Here's one from the SCORE report, but 55% of consumers are willing to pay more for products from socially responsible companies. That is crazy. 55% of consumers are willing to pay more. Now that's a statistic. It doesn't actually show it's from a survey. It doesn't actually show that that's actually what happened, but that's what people are voting with when they're filling out surveys. They want to make impact. And one of my favorite ones in just here is that 93% of employees who volunteer are happy with their employers. So many employers are scared to get their employees to volunteer because they think it's going to waste their time. But 93% of employees who volunteer are happier with their employees. It is absolutely crazy. And this is the final one here. Nearly 80% of consumers are more likely to remember a company with a strong purpose and 4.5 times more likely to recommend them to friends and family. What would your business do if you had 4.5 times more referrals and 80% of people remembering your name because of the giving component that you've had that? So how does this all relate to you? Pretty simple. There's two people. They offer the similar benefits. They offer similar pricing. They offer similar terms. I don't care what your business is. You offer apples to apples in your industry. Typically, everybody has some sort of competitor. Person one on the left does not give back, but person two on the right does give back. Well, based on the stat that I showed you guys earlier, that 89% of consumers are willing to switch brands to one that is associated with a good cause, means that you're going to get 89% more clients over to your business. Isn't that insane? That is a huge statistic. And you can take clients away from your competitors, draw them into your business, make more profit, do more business, and do more good. That is what we're talking about. You get more clients, more money, more impact, and you're still 4.5 times more likely to get referred from your business. So when we look at all that, who's going to make more profit? Person A, that's not getting 4.5 times more referred and not getting 89% of the people choosing him, or person B, the person that's doing it? I think it's a pretty obvious statement that it's going to be person B. So I think we can all agree consumers are expressing what they want with where they're putting their dollars and what products they're buying with. So why isn't everybody doing this? If this was such a strategical play, there's so many numbers backing up. Why isn't anybody doing it? Well, when we look at big corporations, they can all afford to hire chief giving officers, right? They hire these people to come in and run these campaigns for them and run their giving initiatives for them and look up the statistics and find out what's going on and what works and what doesn't work. But what about the small and medium-sized businesses? They don't have this ability. They don't get taught this. This isn't something that people are speaking from stages. There's no courses and trainings on this. This is a new concept that's coming to the world. That's why I wanted to create something called fractional CGO. I want people to trust that the GoBigToGiveBig brand is going to teach them how to do it. I want to be in your corner showing you how you can add a giving component to your business to show the impact it's going to make, to show the more profit that you're going to have and the bigger legacy you can have on your side. So as your new fractional CGO, I'm assuming everybody on this call is going to be okay that I step in your corner for the rest of this presentation and show you a few things of how having me in your corner is going to show you what you can create. And I'm going to give you the secret sauce to it right now. The secret is giving is a value add, not a sales pitch. So many people go out there thinking that I'm going to add this giving component to my business, and then they smother their customers with it. They smother their marketing with it, and they instantly get that you're a scammy person and that's all you're trying to create. You're just trying to get me to buy your business and you're using this as a marketing scam. That is the biggest fear for people and why they don't put it in. And it is also the biggest problem when they do put it in. So as your fractional chief giving officer, I'm going to show you the best way to market this and sell this in your business. The first thing we do is you have to promote what you do. And you have to explain your service. This is business 101. You have to be able to sell what you do before you can even start talking to people. So I'm looking at Julia right now, and it's like, oh, cool. I run a fitness or coaching program. Amazing. So it's, hey, my name's Julia. I run a fitness and coaching program. This is why we're the best in the industry. This is why we separate ourselves. This is what makes us so different. You have to get that person to buy into what you're doing before you can even talk to them. Because if I'm not looking for anybody in the fitness industry, just because Julia has a giving component doesn't mean I'm going to go instantly work with her. I have to be wanting the product or service that you're selling. So you have to get really good at promoting what you do and explaining your services. This is sales 101. That builds what I'm calling the know factor of our know, like, and trust system. The second thing is now we start adding value with giving. Now, Julia might say, and one of the most amazing things about working with me is that I go and support this charity or this cause or this thing that's very passionate to me. So I got them to buy into my products or service, but now I'm adding value with giving. I'm getting them to buy in with that 89% when I talk about this giving component, because now I'm just using my screen here. When Paul hears this and he says, hey, I was looking for someone to work out with. Oh, and you give back. Now you've just piqued their interest. Now they like you that 89% more. Now they're willing to listen to you, hear you differently, and they're going to value what you're talking about on a different level. And then you explain your passion. This is where we come to a human-to-human connection. That is where someone like Julia can say, and this is why I'll use my example and stop picking on you, Julia. You're just at the top of my screen, so I got to do it. But for me, it was Kids Sport Victoria. And one of the things for me was that I got to start sharing with people how amazing sports were for me growing up. I got to share about the impact that being on a sports team kept me from getting in trouble and getting into drugs or hanging out with the wrong crowds. I was too busy playing sports to even know what was going on in the outside world. But it also taught me leadership skills. It taught me team building skills, and it did such an amazing thing. The sad thing is that it's literally just money that's stopping a lot of kids from getting into sports, and oftentimes in low-income families. And we know statistically, it's oftentimes low-income families where their kids end up getting into some trouble. So if we can start putting those kids into sports, we can start solving that problem. See what I did there? I've just now humanized who I am and what I do. We now have a relationship in through this process. This isn't just a 2-minute pitch. This is a conversation. I might ask questions like, do you know any kids that have gone through this program before? Imagine, do you have any kids yourself? Imagine what sports would do for them. Things like that. So I'll start asking questions and learning. So now I'm building a relationship with that person. So now they know what I do. They like me because I have that giving component. I'm relatable because I'm humanizing the process. And then I go in for the close on the deal. And instead of saying, hey, Julia, would you like to buy my product or service? I say, hey, and would you like to get some of the best coaching and training you've ever had in your entire life with me and my team, and be a part of our mission in supporting kids to play more sports? Right? We're attaching our business to a really cool cause that people can buy into, where then they go, you know what? I actually really love being a part of this mission. I want to buy your product or service because I know that the impact is going to have and the good we're going to do. So this is my secret sauce that I teach all these people that pay me $20,000 to teach them how to do it. This is all I do. I just build this in their business, build the messaging and marketing around it, and then give it to them in a playbook. But this is it. It's pretty simple, but it's all about building human to human connection. So then we get to the point where I get to ask you guys, do you guys just like making money, or do you guys want to actually create a legacy? Because that's why you came on this webinar. 90% of the people that come into my sphere or my circle, they don't come because they want to make more money. And they typically don't come just because they want to attach themselves to some sort of nonprofit. It's because they want to do more and they want to make a legacy that they can leave for their kids. They want to do something they're proud of. They believe in what they're doing. So this is new. This is the first time I've taught this. So give me your grace as I walk myself through this. But what I'm now teaching is the tax that you're happy to pay. Right? When we go and make money as entrepreneurs, we have to pay tax to the government. And oftentimes we try and write that off because we don't want to pay that tax. But when we add a giving component to our business and we create that a direct line item in our business, no different than if we had to pay tax, we're happy to pay that. That's the impact that we're making in the world. And the more tax in the happy space we get to pay, the more impact that we're making on the other end. So it's the tax that you're getting happy to pay. And so when you 10x your income and you make 10 times more money, so does your 10x in the giving space, right? Your giving tax goes directly proportional with your revenue. And what this allows you to do is make an unlimited amount of money and not feel guilty about it. You can go make millions and millions of dollars, and you can go buy all the Ferraris you want with your millions of dollars, as long as you're paying the giving tax and making an impact in the world. How is somebody ever going to judge you when they say, why do you have a super luxury car? You know how many kids you can help with that? And you come back and say, no, no, no. Look at my business. I've already done the impact. I've earned this in a different way. That is what I'm really excited to start teaching about. So this is a direct line item in your business and proportional to the profits that you make. Here's a great example of what I built for real estate investing when I was doing it. For every 10, we donated $10 per door per month from our real estate portfolio. So if we bought a 50-unit building, we donated $500 a month, a 100-unit building, $1,000 a month, and so on and so on. Well, as I buy more units, aren't I going to be excited that I'm making more money, doing more deals, but I'm also making a bigger impact? Imagine you get to the point where you're going and buying 1,000-unit buildings and you're donating thousands of dollars a month, right? $10,000 a month. That is where the true legacy and impact comes, that you can actually start producing these giving initiatives by just doing the same thing you do every single day, by just doing business. So here's some examples. For the membership that I run, we buy 3 books for every person that signs up. So for every 10 people that I bring into my community, we go and buy 30 books. Well, if I can get to 100 people, we're donating 300 books. If we get to 200 people, we're donating 600 books. How cool is that? I'm more proud of donating 600 books than standing here bragging about getting 200 people in our community, right? I'm going to talk about how cool is it that our community donated 600 books by just signing up. One of my friends is an optometrist, and he donates $10 from every eye exam that he does to One World, Two Eyes. So he sees 5 people a day, he donates $50. 10 people a day, donates $100. He's now trying to get to 15 people a day to donate $150. Well, that's also making him more money. If he sees 15 patients in a day, his revenues are going up, but so is his donations. And the fun thing about it is that he just increased his prices by $10. Nobody asked, nobody did the difference. Nobody really cares. It was $10 on the side of things, and now he's making massive income by it. The one thing I want to share with you guys, though, is that more money doesn't bring you more happiness. More money, if I put $1 million in your bank account tomorrow, it wouldn't make you any happier. But how you use it can. These are the legacy stories that I cannot wait to share with people. I'm just getting started with what we're doing, but look at some of the stuff that we've been able to do. We bought a ton of groceries for an orphanage in Mexico. My friend Cole Hatter runs a really cool program where we go down to Mexico, we buy a bunch of groceries, and we go and give it to an orphanage. It was money that was able to buy those groceries that is giving that experience to go see these just amazing kids, just be so happy to have people supporting them. And then the people that are organizing it, absolutely amazing. And I'll give a shout out to Paul, who's on this call. It's his Make Money Matter Foundation that is actually organizing and running this, and where we donated all that to. So it's absolutely just some of the most special spaces I've ever been to was filling up 13 grocery carts of food and then delivering it into the houses and making the donation of the food. Some of the most special moments I've ever been to. This is another event that I ran where we went to a food bank and we moved 15,000 pounds of food that is going to feed over 3,000 families. And that's a group of 50 of us that went and volunteered and served there. Here's another one of my friends. He runs a orphanage for sex trafficked kids, and we provided basic needs and living supplies for them, right? We went in there and we bought just a bunch of supplies. We provided ice cream for the kids. We played with them. These are things that are starting to grow on me and make me feel excited. I'm currently in the midst of donating 75 books to the Education Bank in Toronto for our members that are signing up for the Go Big to Give Big community. Literally like writing checks and picking books right now to figure all this out. How cool is that? I get to donate 75 books because I'm bringing people into my community. Just the other day, I bought 10 baseball kits for kids in underprivileged communities because I supported somebody and they said, hey, I want to make a donation to a charity of choice of yours. So we went and bought 10 baseball kits for Baseball Face Cares. So for $100, you can go buy a kit and send them to a kid in an underprivileged community. I'm filling my happiness bank account by paying the giving tax. I'm filling my happiness bank account by paying the giving tax. The more tax I pay, the happier I become. Now, that might be a weird concept, but that's what I'm trying to deliver now. The more of these opportunities that I get to be a part of helping people in need, come from the bigger I grow my business, because the more I grow my business, the more giving tax I have to pay and the more impact that I get to make on the other end. Some of you might be sitting here going, well, Randy, I don't have a big business. I'm not ready to scale and grow. That's great. I'm going to share an example with you. My fiance and I went out for dinner the other day. It was 90 minutes. It cost us $100 at the end of the night. That was 90 minutes of happiness that I had with her. We haven't talked about that dinner since. I honestly can't even remember what I ordered. I don't remember the waitress's name. I don't remember anything from it. $100, 90 minutes of happiness that I don't remember anymore. That same 90 minutes and same $100, I went and bought a bunch of donuts from a fundraiser where it was a few dollars a donut and the money went towards helping some baseball team go to their nationals. So they gave me all these donuts. And I was like, well, I don't need the donuts. I don't need 50 donuts. What am I going to do with them? And so my fiance and I went down to the homeless part of town and we gave away those donuts. Same $100, same 90 minutes. But that's an experience that my fiance and I talk about all the time. The same $100 that we took in the same 90 minutes, we went and bought toys for the SPCA shelter here. And we went and hung out with the animals and played with them and talked to the owners and gave them some treats and just loved on these dogs for so long, for 90 minutes. Same 90 minutes, same $100. That's a lifetime memory that my fiance and I still talk about to this day. So what I want to encourage you to do is take $100 a month and buy yourself happiness. The fun part about this is when you start getting kids. Imagine you get to talk to your kid every single month and you get to ask them what charity that they want to support. And you have to start coming up with creative ideas. And all of a sudden they're playing with their worms in the backyard. And they're like, Mommy or Daddy, I want to donate to an earthworm charity. And you're like, I don't know anything about it. What a great opportunity for you to go build a process with your family members to start researching and learning about charities and making impact. And the whole notion is that one day your child will be walking down the street and see a homeless person without shoes and say, Mommy or Daddy, can we take our $100 this month and buy a pair of shoes for this gentleman? How impactful would that be if that's the type of humanity that we started creating in this world? The secret to living is giving. Do it if you don't have it, and I promise you scarcity will leave your life forever. This quote has been so impactful to me by Tony Robbins. If you don't have it, that's the number one thing that I hear. I don't have any money to donate. Once I make money, I will donate. Tony Robbins says, scarcity will leave your life as soon as you donate when you have nothing, right? If you don't have it and you donate it, scarcity leaves you and abundance comes in. That means you're going to make more money, close more deals, do more business because you got rid of scarcity by supporting somebody else that needed it more than you did. So maybe after all of this, you're sitting here going, Randy, you know what? I can't even afford the $100 a month to buy myself happiness. Great. I'm going to leave you with 3 things right now that you can go create more happiness by triggering your reticular activating system. If you don't know what that means, that's why when you buy a blue car and then all of a sudden you see blue cars everywhere, our brain trains us. It puts slideshows in front of us that, hey, I liked that. You bought this car. Now I'm going to show you a bunch of those things. Well, what would happen if you went and bought a coffee for a stranger? It's a few dollars. You can buy a coffee for a stranger. What if you gave a homeless person a gift? What if you just put a pair of socks in the glove compartment of your car, and when you saw a homeless person, you just went and grabbed those socks and gave them away? Or what if there was an old lady walking across the street and had a bunch of groceries and you just offered to take her groceries home for her? We are training our brain to see opportunities of giving in a world where it's so filled with hatred and anything but love right now, right? There's diversity, it's challenge. What if we train our brains to see the things we want to see? And that is giving. And what if you do these few things? How much more happier are you going to be as a human moving forward in life if you just did these 3 simple things once a month? So that's what I got, guys. Look, today is the reason why I wanted to share all this with you is because I'm trying to change the way business is done forever. And at the end of these webinars, a lot of people offer huge discounts and huge sales to my communities and all this stuff. I'm not that kind of guy. All I'm looking for is I'm trying to find the 50 best people I can in my life that want to be a part of missions like this, that want to make impact, that want to do good, that want to be around a bunch of people like-minded, like are on this call. And so I'm launched this Go Big to Give Big community looking for 50 people to come in that I can start building some of the most brand evangelist humans I've ever seen. And there's a few of them on this call. Rebecca Zagota, huge shout out to you, came into my life and is now just sharing the Go Big to Give Big mission with everybody because she believes so much in it. That's who I'm looking for in my community. You have to talk to me to get in. There is no just buy now button to get on here. And that is the kind of community and culture that I'm looking to create. So if today resonated with you and you want to join the most philanthropic group of entrepreneurs on the planet, I would love to have a call with you, chat about it, and see if this community is something that you want to be a part of to join this growing movement of the impact we're going to make. And remember, guys, the bigger you go, the more you can give and the more happiness you can buy. Boom. That's it. That's today's presentation. That's what it's all about. But this is what I really love. That's all just teaching people how they can start adding this giving component in, why they need to do it, and how they can add more purpose, profit, and legacy to their business. But the reason why you all chose to be on this call is because that's something that you cherish. That's something you want to be a part of. So every person on this call wants to add more legacy to their business. They want some sort of philanthropy a part of it. And this is where I get to open the floor and start hearing from you guys what resonated with you. How can I help you? How can I pour this into your business? You want me to create a sales pitch for you right now? I will. If you want to share something that was a big takeaway from you and how this is going to impact you going forward, I would love to hear it. But this works best when you share. This is a safe space. We're all friends. We're all givers. We're all, as my friend Mark Fujiwara would say, we're all +2s in this room. We all give off +2 energy just by being a giver, just by being here today. So I would love to hear from a few of you. Mark, I'll let you open up. Raise your hand, but I want to hear from some of you. What inspired you? What are you going to do differently? How can I help you? What's going on in your life? And let's just have a great open conversation for the next 20 minutes about Go Big to Give Big and the impact that we're going to make. Mark, you're up.
Thank you, Randy. That was amazing. I'm always thrilled when I get to hear you talk about this stuff. To give the group a little backstory, I've known Randy for just about 6 weeks or so, and he has made such an impact in those 6 weeks. It could take, you know, the whole day actually but I wanted to share something, which was, you know, I love the gift tax, or excuse me, the giving tax, excuse me, because it does work like that. And I feel there's a bonus to that for me, because since I met you, I've been very intentional about sharing my I've been sharing my story on mental health and how I'm supporting mental health, and the goal is to so that we can talk about mental health struggles like we do with a common cold symptom down the road. That would be amazing. And so I talk very little about my business, and I do focus a lot on that, especially because I have so many people that ask, well, you impacted me, how can I impact you? And one thing I'll add is that in both of my business, in the mastermind and the private wealth space, I do not like being part of the norm. I stray away from it. In fact, stray as far away from it to be unique. This is being unique right here. This makes you unique and noticeable. And we're doing it, you know, because I do it because it fills me. It gives me more flow. You're absolutely right. It's a +2 moment when I get to share that with other people. It allows other people that see eye to eye with us to be able to support us even more. So yeah, I can't thank you enough, my man, because the other thing I'll mention is that the RAS system. So I don't know if I shared this with you, Randy, but I've been doing that. I've been on the lookout. Yeah, I give away homeless people. I have a bunch of socks that I'm giving away, and shirts and things like that. But one thing that has made such an impact with all 3 of my kids is that I look for opportunities to give support. So like there's a bunch of pregnant women that were trying to move things around. They're 12 of them, and they're moving these tables. I was like, no, all of you. And I put the chairs around. All of you sit there, and I'll just help and move the tables over for you. And my 20-year-old daughter just said, that's amazing. Oh my gosh, look how happy they are. And I didn't say, oh, it's, you know, it's part of what I'm trying to do, but it made such an impact on her. And then my little one, we're on an airplane one day, and there's a woman, there's a mom, and all her 3 kids run to the seat, and she's got you know, all kinds of stuff, backpack, you know, diaper bag, and she's like coming down, and some toy. I don't know how they got the horse on the plane. And I run up to her. No one's even, everyone's kind of looking the other way. I'm all, man, let me get all things for you. You go to your kids right now. And my little 4-year-old looked at me and just says, oh my gosh, that was so nice of you, Daddy. So that's another bonus that happens from all of this. But man, it feels good.
I love that, dude. You haven't shared Most of those stories with me, those are new. So I appreciate you sharing that, man. And it is truly the most inspirational thing is like inspiring your kids by leading, by showing them what you can do. And by doing a simple act of service that cost you $0 is teaching them the principles of giving. So I absolutely love that you shared that. Thank you, bro. Catherine, thanks so much for being on here.
This is extraordinary what you've created.
Thank
So
you.
first of all, are you Canadian?
I am Canadian.
I heard it. I love it. I'm a Canadian too.
Amazing.
I miss my Tim Hortons. So this is extraordinary what you're doing. I actually have a hedge fund that I do. That's my for-profit side of my world. And then I actually have a nonprofit that focuses on getting I live in the US, that focuses on getting there's 500,000 children in the US foster care system and 350,000 are available for adoption. And so I have a whole system to actually get those children adopted within my lifetime by partnering up with churches, because there's more than 350,000 congregations in this country. And if each congregation takes on finding one family, we can get all these children adopted. I was adopted and I adopted my twins out of the foster care system. So, and it changed my life forever. I was adopted when I was 16. So that's why I formed the nonprofit. So I haven't figured out how to link my hedge fund and what I'm doing over here to that. So I want to have that conversation. And then I also am a partner in a health and wellness company. It's a franchise company that is taking the health and wellness industry by storm. And so we've been talking about how do we roll, these two pieces in together. So I'd love to have a further conversation about both of those companies.
Absolutely. First off, thank you for the work that you're doing. Nonprofits are the hardest thing in the world to get up and run and operate and do. Also mixing that in with adoption is one of the hardest things to do. My good man, Paul Raspa, on this call, you two need to connect and have a conversation. Paul has done some amazing things in the adoption space as well. Adopting kids and being a part of it and fostering kids. He's just such an incredible human. So Paul and Catherine, you two need to connect regardless.
For sure.
And for you, Catherine, this is going to be so fun. I'm so excited to talk to you. This is literally like my favorite and most exciting part is when people come and say, I know what I want to support and I know I'm making money. How do I link them? That is why God gave me a gift. I don't know why, but I link that stuff in seconds. So how do we leverage your hedge fund to do a portion of or a certain thing that supports the nonprofit? And not only are you going to be able to provide revenue cross stream about what it is, but the story that you're going to be able to share that's going to relate you to people in that hedge fund space that they've probably never heard of before, in the greed that comes sometimes in that space. And you come with love and compassion about what you're trying to make in this world. And you bring that to that space. Like Mark said, you're going to be unique. You're going to be a little bit different. You're going to stand out a little bit and people are going to notice that. And what that's going to do is draw some incredible humans to you. You're just going to draw the best people towards you that want to work with you. And Mark, who's on this call, runs a family practice. And one of the things that he talks the best thing about is that now only the best clients want to work with him. When he started talking about mental health and giving back, it's people that just are there for greed to make money. Off the docket, doesn't work. We don't vibe anymore. The energy that I talk about is you rate every energetic conversation you have from -2, -1, 0, +1, +2. So if somebody doesn't hit a +1 or a +2 energetically with us, sorry, we don't work with you and we don't talk to you. It just doesn't align. And when you add giving as to one of your philosophies, now just the best people start coming into your life and you just keep doing these amazing things. So that's where I really see a cool opportunity, Catherine, to do that, as well as in the health and wellness space. That is an unlimited amount of stuff that I can work with you on there, because when we start tying health and wellness to anything, people want to be a part of that. People want to make change because that is something that people can transform in. We can talk about the space and there's so many different amazing things there. So, I know it's not a direct answer because I want to get through a few things here, but what I can say is that that's how we're going to tie it all together. And when we hop on a call, it'll be so amazing.
Perfect. I love it.
I'm so excited. And thank you again for all you're doing. Like I said, running nonprofits are very crazy.
Yep.
So thank you. And if I have time at the end, we can chat about this here. I just want to make sure I get through some people's questions. So Rebecca, you're up.
Oh, first of all, thank you. Thank you for sharing what you have already. And for those who maybe aren't in the founders community, I usually walk away from it in tears, and they're joyful tears because of who I've met, what I've heard, what I've been able to put together. Mark Fujiwara, you're one of them. I have gone through every day since then with my +2, +1, -2, -1, and I am selecting certain things that I'm doing and people I'm spending time with based on that, and I'm sharing it with everybody I know. So, and it's working. Like everybody's like, oh, that's true, that's true. Randy, of course, as you know, I've met incredible people just in the meetings we've been in. So for those of you who don't know who I am, I have a couple of empowerment programs that I have written. They are derivatives of Mike Dooley's Infinite Possibilities. One is called I Believe in Me for Kids. The other one is Infinite Possibilities for the Well-Traveled Soul. I have full training programs, there's books, there's lots of materials, and I give it away. And that's something that Randy had heard about me, which is how we originally came into conversation. So I'm at a stage in my life where I know I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm not really trying to make money. I'm trying to create as much impact as I can with what I've created and what I've built over the years. And so now if a nonprofit that works with kids asks me for my materials, I give it to them. Through Randy, I've been able to do that with a couple of organizations already. This last Sunday, I spoke at Mike's conference, Mike Dooley. I have probably one of the biggest spots to speak because I share about my programs that I built from his program. And it's been able to go to nonprofit organizations all over the world for the kids program. I started it in 2015. The program I developed last year, Infinite Possibilities for the Well-Traveled Soul, it's for veterans, it's for people recovering from serious illness or accidents. It's literally what it sounds like. It's for someone who has lost hope, lost the light. And so the 200 people who are at the conference all have free access to my materials just by going to that conference. So that's part of my giving effort. And then there are people who reach out as individuals. For example, a woman that I just heard from who her daughter was killed in a drive-by shooting 3 years ago. The only way she was able to get up and go out of her house was she and her husband, who are musicians, started to volunteer at senior centers, nursing homes. So I gave her the full program, which there's training materials and stuff that goes beyond what sits, in the website with me sharing the trainings. But also I have a rap song that's for the kids. And I said, could you take these lyrics and maybe create something new for your audience? So now she's super excited that she and her husband are going to take these lyrics and create something that will spread. So, I'm always looking for ways, but because of being involved here and this mindset, I am constantly looking for the connections and the ways that I can help, the impact I can create either for an individual or a group. I love the founding members because the people that you come in, like Mark, changed my life in one brief moment, so to speak. So it's good. It's great. I love being here. I have some new people I'm hoping will be visiting you soon, Randy.
Amazing. Thank you, Rebecca. You've been such a delight for our community. You're always so giving. And I want to introduce you to Paul on this call as well. Paul, I'm going to introduce everybody on this call.
I wrote your name down. In fact, I friended you on Facebook.
so Paul will be great. And then just by osmosis, I'm going to assume this might be beneficial for Catherine for her, people going through the adoption progress. Getting some more hope and some material to lean on. I think it's absolutely amazing. And this is why
Catherine, I'd love to chat with you.
This is why I love these calls. Like, I'm just putting a bunch of random people together in a room. Like, nobody in here directly knows each other from anywhere. And all of a sudden magic just happens. It happens every single time I do this. I haven't had a call where magic hasn't happened on a call where somebody can support somebody. Somebody has a nonprofit, somebody has a business, and they come together. Somebody has an idea, something shares. And that's why I do these calls every single month that are open to the public. And in the Founders Club, we do 2 calls a month because we just love connecting and sharing our stories and putting people together and making things happen. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, one, thank you, Randy, for gathering folks today. I really appreciate that. And I guess the piece I want to share, kind of building off of what Rebecca said, is that mindset plus skill set leads us to action. And it really, I mean, Randy has the skill set piece, you know, the tactics of how do you implement, what makes the most sense, how do you craft the message, how do you sell it to your internal folks, how do you sell it to your spouse, all those things, or your partners, you know, like that's important. That's the skill set. But it starts with your mindset. You know, what's important to you in this life? And it is that legacy piece. Like, what do you want to be known for? And it's not so much for notoriety, but when you're on your last day or after your last day, what do you want people to say the impact was that you made in this lifetime? And leveraging your businesses to help further that mission is really an opportunity for each of us. And as someone who started out in the nonprofit sector in the first part of my career, running large foundations and nonprofits and hands-on charities. But I moved into the entrepreneurial space a number of years ago. And at this point, consult with a number of startups, but I also own multiple startups. And one of the pieces I wanted to share is, and Catherine, this kind of goes to your comment, integrating this into funds and other stuff is not the hard part. It's the mindset that's the hard part. That we have to get over. We just bought, my partner and I just bought into an existing company. And as part of that, our buy-in to that, we insisted that the ownership agreement include a for-purpose element. Yes. So going forward, a percentage of every dollar that comes in the door will automatically go into our giving fund. We're not going to run a separate nonprofit for them. We're just going to put it into giving funds so that we fund into other nonprofits that make sense in our community. We did the same thing with another company about 6 months ago. When we bought into it, we brought some equity to the table and we said, guess what? If we're bringing equity, here's part of the game. You're going to be a for-purpose company from here going forward. And it's not so much about how much you give, it's why you give. And if you can focus on that why you give, your energy about this will change and people won't care how much money you're making, because all they care about is that you want to do something better in this world. You want to make an impact, and they will jump in behind you. Even if they don't even like your charity, they will still jump in behind you because they will feel the conviction that you want to leave this world in a better place. So just encourage you to get out there if you're not already for purpose in your businesses. It's not rocket science, but you can get there a lot faster with people like Randy helping to guide you through those steps of how to do it and do it well.
Dude, Paul, I just love how you will never waver from your core values to do business. Like, you want to hire me to come in and do business, it comes with a giving component. And if you don't want that giving component, we're not going to do business with you. Like how incredible is that? This is the way the world's going. This is where we want to be. And there's guys like Paul that are taking a stand saying, guys, done are the ways of just pure greed and capitalism of making as much money as you can. Let's just do better. Let's just do better in business. And that's something I've always admired about Paul and how he stands for what he believes in so much. And I'm so grateful. We got about 4 minutes if anybody else wants to share. If not, I'm happy to wrap it up and say the goodbyes, but I'll give everyone 1 minute. Oh, there we go. James, my man, I knew I could count on you. What's good, bro?
What's up, man? Hey, so for those of you who don't know, I'm in Southern California. I teach real estate agents how to be better at their job. So our giving component is we donate to Operation Underground Railroad, which participates in helping rescue children from sex trafficking rings and kind of reintegrating them back into the regular world. And as a father of 3 kids, I think it's a pretty special mission and pretty awesome. And to be honest, kind of had some difficulty figuring out like what I wanted to support, and it was kind of holding me up. And then I was like, well, shoot, I better just pick something. And then without going into too much detail, we're kind of navigating an interesting financial season in our business. So one of the things I talked to Randy about early on was I said, hey, bro, like, I don't know, like, I just don't have much to give right now. And, you know, for any of you, like, as you kind of ebb and flow in those seasons of life and those seasons of business, I just wanted to make sure anybody else who's out there kind of going, gosh, like, kind of not in the best place financially or otherwise to be able to like be throwing a bunch out there. And I think, Paul, you just mentioned this, but like it's not about like how much you give, it's about the why behind it, right? And so we just had to kind of like get off of our butt and start giving something. And so we have a monthly amount that we give no matter what. And then as we do sales, we increase that and do like a per sale amount that goes with it. So it's been really cool. And I want to take credit for this next story, but I'm not going to, because I'm going to just say that maybe my daughter got it through the ether or something. I don't know. It just came to her. She's our little space cadet anyway. But I thought this was kind of a beautiful moment. So I have an 11, 9, and 7-year-old. My 9 and 7-year-old, a girl and a boy, they celebrate birthdays a day apart. So they're 1 day shy of 2 years apart from one another. And anyway, my middle child, Peyton, who just turned 9, she got a bunch of gift cards and everything for her birthday. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Squishmallows. You ever heard of a Squishmallow? They're like the softest, most amazing toy ever on the face of the earth. Like, I think even adults should have them. They're like the stuffed animal we all wish we used to like could have when we were kids. But the kids are obsessed with them. And my oldest daughter, who's 11, has been wanting one for a while. And when we took my middle child, she's like, I want to go to Target and I want to get a toy because this was like my birthday money. And we thought she was going for herself. She took her birthday money. I know this isn't donating to outside the family, but the concept here was beautiful to me. She took her birthday money, and the very first thing she did is she walked down one of those toy aisles and she picked up one of these big, giant Squishmallow toys. And I said, Peyton, you have like 100 of these. Like, you don't need another one. And she goes, no, this is for my sister. And so it was really cool, not only that she wanted to buy something for her sister, but the money that was literally given to her for her birthday to be able to go buy something for herself. She did buy something for herself, but the very first thing she did was pick up for somebody else. And I don't know, maybe she's picking up on the lead by example or you know, whatever.
Yes, bro.
But we haven't had that direct conversation about certain things. But I just think it's really beautiful when you look at through the eyes of a child, all the stuff that they see. And they've seen me at my worst and at my very best, but it's so beautiful that those moments that they pick up on and they just give back to somebody else, even if it's within the family, because that's where it starts. So just wanted to share that. It was kind of a cool story in my mind.
That's a beautiful story. And that's exactly it, dude. You are leading and your kids are following. Whether you've talked to them or not, they know. Mark talks a lot about just energetically how he shows up. His kids know that directly. And when you show up by being a giver, they can sense that energy. They believe in it. And just by osmosis, you probably don't even know you do it. You're just a giver by nature, dude. You're holding the door open for people. You're supporting other people. Your kids don't just find that by going to school and kids are donating stuff to each other. They get that by you stepping up as a father and leading them. So huge congrats to you, bro. And ties in perfectly to how I wanted to end this, because I like to try and end on time as much as I can. It's not about how much you give, it's that you give. The law of reciprocity says when you give something, you get something back. It doesn't track how much money it is. It cares that you give. So I wanted to leave you all with that. The law of reciprocity doesn't care how much you give, it cares that you give. So for someone like James that's going through a challenging financial season, $1 is putting the energy out in the world like, hey, I want to do good. And if you, God, bless me to make more money, then I'm going to do a ton more good with it because I'm showing you that I'm doing it. That is the law of reciprocity. When you put it out to the universe, it will come back to you 10 times. So thank you all so much for coming on today. Catherine, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll send you an email. I got your email. Would love to chat with you. Anybody else, please, you'll get an email in 12 minutes, I think, after this call that's sent to go out, and it's got some information. You can book a call directly with me on there. You can learn about the Founders Club. But thank you all so much for taking the time out of the day to be here. I love you all, and I'll make some connections after this for the people I said I was going to. So thank you.